Hey y'all, what is up everybody? What is up YouTube? Sparky Marky, and I'm back to do a movie review. And of course, this is a review for the sequel. This one is for the 1988 slasher horror I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And anybody that I might have mentioned this on my channel sometimes, not all the time, and of course, me and this movie, we go way back. And unfortunately, I didn't see this in theaters. I was like about, let's see, I was 6 when the first movie came out. I was 7 when the sequel came out, and I've seen trailers, promos, and I think TV spots, VHS promos over the years that were related to TriStar, Columbia Pictures, property trailers for upcoming releases from Columbia and TriStar at the time, and I couldn't see it in theaters. My mom and dad, not religious, a little religious, but not too religious. They wouldn't let me see it nor rent it. And I didn't see this until I saw it on USA Network. I saw the promos, and of course it's on YouTube. I remember watching the promos around the time I was attending elementary school days, and I seen the trailer on pay-per-view, TV Guide, and I did saw the film on USA Network during the summer of '01. I was 10 and I saw bits and pieces. And I saw the film also on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was entering middle school days. Back when I was in middle school days as well. And then I got the DVD on my 17th birthday, and I believe this was the DVD from the first movie came out in the following year of 1998, and the sequel came out the sequel for the DVD came out the following year after its initial release. So yeah, I've seen the VHSs. I couldn't rent that one either. And then I got the DVD on my 17th birthday that my aunts gave me, and I still have it. And I didn't upgrade to Blu-ray. I didn't bother. It didn't have anything else, and it had the special features right from the DVD release. So, and they had two different cover arts, but never had a different cover art for the sequel. And I had concerns, and it was a sort of kind of a mediocre release, whatever, or the quality was alright, not the best or so, whichever you call it. Check out on Blu-ray.com for it. But I'll get to talk about the physical media format some other time. So, and it got a 4K release for the 25th anniversary. Just to let you all know. So the film and I, we go way back, and I saw it over the years, and I loved it. But then I had a bit concerns, even from my fellow YouTuber by the name of Review King MB, Mike Brown. Shouts to you, dude. Um, what do you call it? This is the second installment, and it follows our characters from the first movie, our heroine and hero, Julie and Ray. They're back, and of course they've been having some long distance relationships, sure, and such. And of course, I can't go back to Southport because part of her wants to go back, but doesn't want to go back right now. And then suddenly she misses her friends, and then suddenly starts having the nightmares, and this time they're crazy and they're more dangerous. On the tagline for this movie, some secrets will haunt you forever. So yeah, among other things, folks, whatchamacallit, this was and also another thing, the teen horror, this was during the teen horror slasher genre, and this was about 2 months after the airing of the Cartoon Network show The Powerpuff Girls. So yeah, how are the odds on that? And I believe Sailor Moon was still kicking around the waves of Cartoon Network at the time. So yeah, but and also let's get back to this. So I love this film. I dig it, and of course there were some qualms about the film that they should have done more with it, and I realized it until about 2 years ago. They should have done more with the film, like do more with the characters. I believe the somebody wanted us to hate these two characters that are hero and hero after what they went through, you know. And we have Brandy Norwood as the college roommate Carla Wilson, and then you have Tyrell Martin played by the awesome Mekhi Phifer. It's a shame that both Mekhi Phifer and Freddie Prinze Jr. didn't share any screen time. I wish they did share some screen time together, you know, but they did in the premiere when the film came out, and they're good friends in real life. Same with Ryan Phillippe. And oh yeah, and also I want to show you something else. Someone is dying for a second chance, and obviously we all know the villain is back with a vengeance. But also, she starts seeing illusion shots of the villain, and another thing to complain, the poster. Why is the hook on this hand? It should be on uh, the right hand. So I think the artist didn't see the film or didn't give a damn. And also, what else? She starts seeing the villain in a dance club where Carlo works, and suddenly starts seeing the villain in illusion. Like one moment he's like there, and the next not, and then right behind her, but it's not. It was just an illusion. And then you meet the new character, another new character named Will Benson, played by Matthew Saddle, great, cool actor. He hasn't done much since. He should come back, do some more projects, you know, do something great with it, with his characters. And among other things, and Review King and B Mike Brown says that coining him as a goofy, dorky guy, he doesn't look goofy. I believe he's a little wacky and a bit fun kind of guy when you first meet him and get to know him. And then, and who else? And who else is in this? Okay, and then you have, of course, Ray back at Southport working, and then gets a phone call, and you have his friend, and you have a friend named Dave, played by actor John Hawk. And they communicate saying that they won a contest for the Bahamas, and suddenly, of course, the answer that we know is not the right answer. And for the record, before I go further, for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, please watch the sequel and come back to it. So yeah. And among other things, the villain is back with a vengeance, and our what do you call it? Just as our hero and his best friend are heading to go see Julie, and he's going to plan to propose her, when they're heading there at night to surprise her, they see a car, and suddenly the villain is back with a vengeance. How back? Uh-oh. So meaning the villain was tricked. So our hero was tricked, and meaning the villain is back. And then kills the friend, uses his truck to run him down. After it gets down to see an old his dead friend's BMW in a body of a fisherman, but turned out to be nothing but a mannequin. Uh-oh. And it was a big trap, and there was a witness, a truck driver. And of course, he escapes by jumping off the rails before his truck could hit him. Our hero, Ray. And then, of course, he doesn't show up, and they're having concerns, this and that. He said he'd try, and then they head to the Bahamas, and then we meet Jack Black, who plays the Jamaican dude Titus. He's a bit wacky in the film. And then we have Mr. Brooks, played by legendary horror actor icon by the name of, what's his name? Jeffrey Combs. He plays Mr. Brooks, the hotel guy. Little wacky, little serious. And then we meet other characters, including the character of Nancy, played by Jennifer Esposito, wonderfully actress. And then in the hospital in Boston, the doctors think that the doctor and the cop tell the cop things that he fell asleep in the wheel and hit the guardrail and then fell down. Really? Where was was there the witness, the truck driver that saw it go down? And then where's the car and the dead body and the body of a mannequin of a fisherman? Meaning somebody cleaned the crime scene up. And what we should have seen also more is that our hero, Ray, played by Prinze Jr., actually escaping from the hospital, and see a shot of him running as fast as he can with his clothes and with his wardrobe and stuff and the cast for his arm since he got injured. We should have seen more. And why they couldn't connect, why they should have it, and the cop should have it on file that they never, that about the murders that occurred in Southport, North Carolina, the year prior to the events of the second film, is that why is there no file on it? Because the hospital is in Boston. It's a different jurisdiction, and the murders occur in Southport. That's why they couldn't make the connection between the two cases, different jurisdictions. So yeah, couldn't contact Southport PD about it, but oh well. How dumb are the authorities in the film? They can't rely on them, and plus, it's off season and storm season begins. Uh oh. Storm season? Uh oh. So, yeah. And so our hero has to find a way to get to the Bahamas as quick as possible. And then, of course, the villain is there. And suddenly, things go crazy. And the island starts to go into silent mode. And then suddenly 4th of July happens. And of course the hero, Ray, has to pawn the ring, his engagement ring that he was gonna propose to Julie, and for a weapon and a couple $200 to use the gun to stop the arch nemesis who is back from the dead, or back with a vengeance. And that, and what else? And starts heading there, and it's raining crazy. And then suddenly, our heroine is going to take a tanning, and the next thing you know, the other two characters, Ty and Will, see dead bodies all over the island, including our new character Carla finds a dead body too. And suddenly, the villain locks our heroine in the tanning bed with a straight cuff wire and increasing the temperature. But they help her get out, and then suddenly they go to the manager, Mr. Brooks, and suddenly they find him dead with the message saying "I still know" written in red, and the two-way radio. It's been destroyed, and tells her about what occurred in the events that led to what happened. And they never found the body, and then suddenly he's back, and one of them doesn't believe her. Ty doesn't believe her until they think it's the guy named Estes, played by Bill Cobbs. But unfortunately, they haven't found his dead body yet, and they think he's the villain. And don't jump to conclusions. He's not a villain, and he doesn't. And really, man. And the guy who wrote the script, what's his name? Who's the writer on this one? Trey Calloway. Yeah, just literally a cool writer, but he should have done more with the writing. There was another dude named Stephen Graham, if I said his name right, who did wrote some of it, but then ended up not getting credit, or they never used some of his material. So Trey Calloway was the only one credited. And of course, our producers, Neil H. Moritz, Eric Feige, Stokely Shiffman, and William S. Baisley are back, and the directing of the film went to English filmmaker named Danny Cannon, who did some good films, and of course he directed the 1995 film Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. But sadly, that film was either love or hate by fans and critics, because there were some heated arguments between the director and the writer, because Stallone's ego was getting in the way of the director's vision. But it did all right, but it was considered box office poison that there was no need to continue. And so anyways, he directed it and how he envisioned the film, where the film was going to be shot, and it was going to be at a resort. And of course, Siskel and Ebert didn't hardly like the film, and of course, Ebert says, setups and slashings. That's what occurred. So yeah. So anyways, they find Estes and tell them that about the voodoo. He did voodoo on them to protect them, but apparently did not much good. And of course, he knows who they're talking about, the Ben Willis guy, the fisherman, and he knows him. and of course leads to family history. He knows who he's talking about. He used to work at the hotel of Tower Bay Island. Yeah, he used to work there, and he worked there for years and had a family, a nice wife and 2 kids, a son and a daughter. And of course, the it turns out that Ben beat his wife up because she was having an affair with a different individual. And of course, the wife went missing, and maid found the housekeeper or the maid found blood on the honeymoon suite, room 201. Coincidence? It's one of their rooms. Eventually, they found the body, parts of it, and everyone on the island claims she was cheating on him. People on the island would say he would beat her up. People on the island would say a whole lot of things and gossips. One day, just disappeared without a trace, along with his 2 children. And now he's back. And of course, Ray has to charter a boat to get to the island, no matter how hard the storm is. And then sees the grave of his wife and daughter. He didn't kill his daughter. His daughter died in an accident in '95, the year before the events start in the first movie. And then what happens next? She sees her grave that the fisherman dug for her. And they go back to the island and try to grab some weapons. For instance, they got a knife, some knives, and they find the bartender, Nancy, hiding there. And suddenly, crazy ensues. And they should have done more with... They could have done was do more with the character. They should have let Ty do some fighting. Instead, the fisherman comes out of nowhere from the ceiling or something and is hooking people. Yeah, and what else? Then they chase him, and the movie's insane during the middle and final act. He knows where they're at, or where they are, because hello, he worked in that hotel. He knows the air. He knows the details. And of course, they try hiding the storm cellar, but they found the bodies, and that's where he hid his victims. And of course, then we see our character Will, and claiming as this attack, you think he's involved, and apparently, lo and behold, beginning of the final act, he happens to be the accomplice. And it shows his true color, and the whole thing was a setup. Well, we did find out it was a setup in the beginning of the second act. Or during the second act. Turned out the vacation was a setup. And third act, there was an accomplice. That turns out Will Benson, aka Will Willis, or Rufus Willis, whatever you call him by his name, is indeed the villain's son. The fisherman had 2 kids. One was a daughter, and this one is the son. Oh no! The villain had another child. Guess killing does run in the family. Oh wow! And they go to the graveside, and a showdown happens. The villain then shows up and unmasks himself in anger mode, or pissed off mode, however you call it. And with that, let's see how it is. Okay, you have the villain. Here's the standing, and I remember seeing this in the book from the original screenplay. There is a book, of course, that there were stuff going to be in the movie, and this is not a deleted scene. Maybe this is when he enters the room. I don't know, they didn't bother shooting it, but I remember this angle. But like this angle, yeah, that's the angle I remember when I was a kid, and how pissed off the villain is. And this is this is a lobby card, and you see that. And look how big is this dude. He looked bigger in the wardrobe when I was in 3rd grade. Don't you all think? And here is the villain at the club. and here he is. Also, Muse Watson came back to reprise his villainous role. And look at his facial expression. How pissed off he is, huh? And there's his weapon. He replaced his missing hand with a hook. So yeah. So the villain is back, hungry for revenge. So yeah. And what else? So fight ensues. The hero fights the villain's son, this and that. Just as I was about to kill our hero, he knocks him out and accidentally kills his son. And accidentally, the villain kills his own son by mistake. Angry and sad, and then our heroine, Julie, shoots the villain and falls into the grave, and then sees his body all getting muddy and water covering it up in dirt. And that's all. And the next day is drying up, and the rescue team with the helicopter will be arriving shortly. And we have our hero and our heroine's friend Carla survived. Yes. In an original idea, Carla was supposed to die and Nancy was supposed to live. But sadly, they kind of switched it around. And so yeah, they survive, and Carla finally gets to know Ray. And that's it. And then if anybody has seen the end, let me know in the comments. If anybody has, I'm not going to tell. But it should have been more of a dream sequence, but they kind of like saying that our heroine gets killed finally. What? And of course, it led to door for a sequel that we hardly ever got. And what else? So yeah, our heroine, we never even got a sequel, but the film did well on a budget of 24, and it made $84 million. And voila, surprise, surprise, we finally, it made a lot of money, but it didn't gross a lot more than the predecessor. But it is more thrilling and more scary and terrifying that the villain is back. And tell me something, folks. Anybody has seen this film when the film came out in theaters? Any of you young BUCKSs have heard of this movie? Back when, say, you were attending elementary school or high school or so. And did you see it through the VHSs of the promos? VHSs and the promos. And then let me know in the comments. And what do you guys think of this film? What do you do's and dudettes think of this movie? And plus, they should have done more with the film. Should have done more with the story. Should have done more with the characters. And we still care for them. And also, and what else? And should have done more decentness to the whole plot of the film. And what we should have gotten as well is that it should have ended with our heroine, and the friend and the hero finally survived the ordeal, nightmare, and then also should have cut a shot to the wedding, and then happily ever after. But yeah, but all in all, it's a great film, but should have done more with the story and everything. And tell me something about it too. And so yeah, it's a decent film. I do watch it. It's not a guilty pleasure or anything. Call it guilty pleasure, whatever, but it is what it is. I just skipped the ending of the film and head to the I'd rather just skip the ending of the film and head to the credits. Plus, Jennifer Love Hewitt does a song for the film, How Do I Deal? And it's in the music video shows clips from the film. So yeah, I'll send you some other reviewers from YouTube, and also maybe Joe Blob of the WTF happened to this movie. So yeah, and also some of the scenes in the film would kind of be like an homage in 20 years later for the 2018 MCU movie Avengers 3 Infinity War, which sort of has a vibe from this movie and Part 6 Jason Lives, Hellraiser 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and some other ones. Because in my opinion, Infinity War felt like a bit of a horror film. Third, suspense horror, and the fourth film, Endgame, was suspense horror in a way, from a perspective point of view. So yeah. And now, as of last year, finding out that they did a third movie and it's already out. Sorry I was a bit late for the party, but I'll be seeing that pretty soon. And so yeah, our hero and heroine are back, but they're technically not married anymore. Kind of bummer and sad. So, that's how it is. So, y'all, before signing off, let's give a shout out to the Thing of Ours, TCF, to the physical media collectors, the watch collectors, toy collectors, autograph collectors, and all you and convention goers and all you collectors out there. And especially let's give a shout out to my subscribers. You know who you all are. Shouts to you all, cats and dogs. So yeah. Plus, I'm in the YouTube post. So I have to post what time I post videos at a certain time, whether it be the afternoon hours or the afternoon hours, or no, actually the early morning hours. I would be in the YouTube post telling you that in the afternoon this video is going to show up, so keep an eye on it. And anything on my YouTube post, so keep an eye on that as well, daily and or weekly. Daily and or weekly. So yeah. So y'all. And also please like and comment and subscribe to my channel always. And I appreciate the thumbs ups as well. So y'all, this is Sparky Marky Mark signing off. Y'all take care. God bless you. Enjoy Tuesday, y'all. And later. Ooh.